Hello, and welcome to Improvisations on Growth with Madhu, Siedler, business and life coach. As we are morphing from a situation which we have identified as a crisis to a situation that we now call a new normal, we are concluding our COVID-19 crisis log and we are wrapping up approximately 100 days of COVID. The new normal experience is still perceived quite differently for Madhu in Vienna, Austria, and this podcast hostess Adina Arhire based in South Florida. If Austria is opening up for tourism, South Florida is registering all-time daily highs of new COVID cases. Is the coronavirus experience and the possibility of our own death acting as a magnifying glass? Is this new reality allowing us to be more open, more truthful and candid, and somehow pushing us to be more real? Listen and decide with us. Hello, Madhu. How's everything? How are you in Vienna?
Hi Adina. Good to hear you and good to see you. Things are okay, I'd say. I think we're hitting the first 100 days of COVID. The general notion is good. So our government is monitoring it really closely, and some clusters up here in schools. How are you first, and then how is it over there?
I personally am doing well. I can't complain. That's because I continued, so to speak, a semi-isolation state, and I didn't, although the cinemas are open, I didn't run to the cinema. I'm still wearing my mask because here in Florida, it looks like we've had the highest number of cases ever.
Wow.
Over 3,000 a day. So
oh my God.
Yeah, I really started wondering if the second lockdown is not on the table. Because people are, that's my interpretation, people are tired of staying in their homes. The traffic has picked up considerably. The stores are full. So the beach as well. So people just really ran out of their houses, and now the cases are going up every day, really like at an alarming rate, in my opinion. So I decided to be cautious, and but yes, it's a little unusual. Speaking of the 100 days, in a way, I feel we've come full circle and even more as far as the number of cases.
Oh, okay. Well, it seems like we do experience really a different situation. I mean, over here, all businesses are open. We have to wear masks only like on public transportation. And if you go to the hairdresser, like if you go into a shop where you cannot keep the social distance, you have to wear a mask. Other than that, it's social distancing really that that supposedly still does the trick. And I personally have started hugging my friends, which is so nice, to be honest. I mean, to see them in reality, in person, that's the one thing. And then to hug them again and being able to, touch and feel friends, that's just really nice. It also seems that we are more cautious than maybe people over there.
It also seems like I'm really trying not to use the word normal, but I'll have to use the word normal. It sounds to me like you're going through normal steps in the sense of you've had the lockdown, you follow the rules, everybody's out, and everything is under control, and everything is going according to a plan with the predictable results. And I'm saying this in opposition to what's happening here. We're just going backwards a little as far as the cases. And I don't know if people will want to be isolated. I think it almost feels like people want to take chances. And I think the difference between Austria and the US is also the recent riots that have happened. And this intersected with the crisis that we're going through, but people really just got out in the streets and they didn't care about the social distancing anymore. They really wanted to make a stand, which is great. Tells me how people just are not that concerned about social distancing anymore.
We had Black Lives Matters demonstrations over here as well, like in Vienna. And I think like a week ago or 2 weeks ago, we had like a huge demonstration of 50,000 people.
Wow.
I was not there. The daughter of a friend participated. And she said that people were really keeping their distance. Everybody was wearing a mask. So it seems to me that people were really responsible, so that you can, make a stand and demonstrate and still be aware of COVID and not risk getting infected or risk to infect others. That's just hearsay, really. This is what I've heard. What will be interesting over here is that they're opening, or we have opened the borders, and we are allowed to travel again and also allowed to go on vacation. The beaches in Italy and in Croatia, we're allowed to go there. This is going to be interesting. I know that I'm not going. I will not travel this year, I think. But it will be interesting to see if this will bring any effect and any rise in numbers. So we are really feeling our way forward.
Well, if the rules are still in place, I don't see why this cannot be under control. So I have a simple question for you.
Another simple question of yours. I love that.
It is really simple. Looking back 100 days ago when the crisis more or less started, and if you can do an evaluation, so to speak, we've talked in our podcasts every week about growth, about shift, about changes. Do you feel in any way changed?
As I said, I just love your simple questions.
And it's not a yes and no. You gotta explain to me how you feel changed. Don't just tell me, yes, I'm changed. Okay.
I'd say I feel in the process of being changed. So I could not say that I have changed or I haven't changed, but it feels like I'm still processing what has happened and what is happening, and that this process is changing me, and it's changing my perspective. And but I'd like to expand to our listeners as well. Like in one of the earlier podcasts, I've mentioned that my dad was ill and that he got cancer, and that obviously affected me. And my dad has died. And so the combination of Corona and the death, like being part of my life now, having to deal with the death of my dad, that is having quite a huge impact on me. I'm like still in the process, so I cannot really say what the impact is. One thing that I realized today was I got a direct message from a colleague of mine that I haven't seen like in 20 years, and on LinkedIn, and I was like, oh wow, isn't that nice to hear from him again? And then I opened the message, and then what it was totally unpersonal advertising that he got a new homepage, and he's a consultant as well, and that his new product is now he consults female entrepreneurs for the strategy for their companies. And I got so mad. I was like, okay, this is not personal. It feels like spam in my DMs. And then it's mansplaining. And then it was, I actually took the time to go to the website, and it was just done so without love and claiming, like he's supposedly building on like the mega trends that one can see now. And one supposedly mega trend is that we have a shift from the male culture to the female culture, and female culture is all about cooperating and introducing love and da 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 da. So I think it's like how men would describe the female culture, just sticking to the stereotypes, mansplaining at its best. So you even don't walk the talk, but you're like from your male supremacy, you talk down to women. I will make a post out of this on LinkedIn, and I realized that all this corona and the death is making me even more truthful and candid and outspoken and less cautious, and I'm like, okay, I just don't give a bleep, because life is just too short. As my dad used to say, life is like a chicken ladder. It's short and full of poop. Coming back to your question, so I do feel effects, but I feel them, like I realize them when I see myself or hear myself reacting in a different way than I did like 100 days ago.
Thank you for listening to a new episode of Improvisations on Growth, shifting from the crisis state to the new normality, which should simply mean living our lives moving forward, inevitably carrying the after effects of the coronavirus. Maybe reflecting at your own mortality has allowed for more grounding, a simpler and deeper understanding of what matters. Maybe after peeling all the layers, you realized it's more fulfilling to be true to yourself and learned that life is too short to fake it. If this resonates with your findings, feel free to share your comments with Madhu directly by emailing her at madhu@einsiedler.at or engage with her on her social media on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter. Stay true to yourself and don't miss our next episode.